Welcome back, everybody, to the Bitcoin Business Bureau. I'm your host, as always, LitecoinLeader. Today I'm going to talk about an economic term that you may not know of, but it's really important to know about it. And I'm going to be doing a little bit more of that over the next couple of weeks, because I think these are terms that people need to know and things that have been discussed in the past, but really coming to light today. So this one is called the Cantillon Effect, or as the original person would say, the Cantillon Effect, because I think he was Irish, English, French, very much mixture of European, but he's an 18th century economist. And what he said was, when you add money to a supply, you add more money to an economy, the first ones that touch the money get the most benefit. And let me talk about that for a minute. So back in his day, in the 18th century, you still had a lot of kingdoms, or a lot of small communities. So the people that made the money, I can take these shades off because I have good exposure now, but when you actually had the supply chain of a set area, and the king got greedy, he would just print more money, and he would pay people at first with that money, and those people would get to spend it first, and they would reap the benefit, and that led to later on economies with bankers getting the money first and so on. But let me give you an example of how this would work. Let's just say that there's a market where they sell 50 oranges. So hey, prop time, oranges. So there's 50 people in this town, and there's 50 oranges for sale a day. So there's basically one day. That's the supply. Now let's say that the king or whoever's in charge decides to give more money to the people that, let's just say 10 bankers, and those bankers are now going to go, and instead of buying one orange a day because they have extra money, let's call it $1 a day, now they have $3 a day to spend, so they're going to buy 3 oranges a day. So now those 10 bankers have taken 30 oranges out of the supply, and that leaves only 20 left for the rest of the other 40 people. So now what happens? Well, the person selling the oranges is going to see that there's not enough supply to meet the demand, so he's going to raise the price, because he's going to run out every day, because the first 20 people there are going to buy it, and then there's not going to be enough. So for him to profiteer, or to make the most money he can for his business, he's going to raise the price of the oranges so that he makes more money, because he knows he's going to sell out every day. But why not? Because there's so much more demand, to capitalize that, you raise the price. That's not going to matter much to the bankers who have the extra money, because, oh well, so what? Maybe I only buy 2 now, but because I still got extra money. If they're $1.50 and I spend $3 and I only get 2, that's okay, because I still had extra money I didn't have in the first place. Now later on, that money will get to the person, the orange vendor, and he'll spend it and he'll distribute it in the community. But at that point, the prices of goods like oranges have already gone up, so he's going to feel the economic impact of prices going up, whereas the bankers originally don't feel that effect. So there's two sides to it. There's two sides that work in the economy right now that are experiencing the Cantillon effect. First, you had the bankers back in 2008 with the bailouts. You had all that money going into the bankers, and they got to buy up cheap properties and so on, and they get to get the benefit of that extra money supply. Lately, with these helicopter money and these stimulus checks, now more people are getting more money to go out and spend and consume, and that's why the powers that be are saying that, hey, this inflation is temporary, because the helicopter money are driving prices up because they have more money to spend. But it's also, what's really happening, and to exacerbate or make worse the supply chain issue, is that they're buying everything that's available, and they're just, even with the extra money, they're able to afford those prices. They're just consuming all that stuff, and now that supply is not there anymore because there's extra money and they're consuming all the goods. So the Cantillon effect it really burns the candle from both ends. First, you have people that are getting helicopter money; they touch the money first that way, and that's just the only, that's where the people that are getting that money, that stimulus check, which wasn't the entire supply of money that they created, by the way. It also impacted the banks and other people at the top end. But whoever gets the money first gets to spend it first before the prices start to change. So that's the Cantillon effect. You can find lots of different videos and discussions out there, but it's important to understand that the people that touch the money first get the most benefit first, because prices haven't changed yet. So if there's an infusion of capital, the people that get the capital first get all the benefit. So that's something about the supply chain. That's a little bit I wanted to talk about for today. So with all that said, close the drawer on the bureau. See you next time.